here's to our customary volume check. Microphone seems to be good. Music B is good. Those biddies are very good. Thank you, Lucky. Thank you. Kellen, thank you so much for dropping in Lurk Redeem. Thank you for providing that. All right. And then, as always, we got to do our pre-stream stretch. I never seem to do this when I'm actually working up to doing stream. It's always, oh, right. As soon as we start stream, I am a little stiff. We got to work that out. Remember, kids, exercise can just be some good old-fashioned deliberate stretching. It doesn't have to be, going out and jogging for an hour. It doesn't have to be doing 100 push-ups and 100 sit-ups every single day without the AC running. You don't have to go that hard. But it does need to be moving your body and well, maybe not forcing, but getting your body limber, getting it used to just moving around, making sure that your blood is nice and circulating. There we go. That feels good, doesn't it? Helps me out. Well, I gotta be careful when I stretch in bed because that is when I tend to get Charlie horses. Those that just horrible cramp in your calves. Like, oh god, I hate those so much. So I have to be careful when I'm stretching in bed because if I'm just going from like cold to intense, oof, recipe for disaster. Alright, shall we do it? Yeah, let's do it. Hey there, heroes! My name is Hero Girl. I'm a friendly local neighborhood hero tuber and professional idea haver. And this is the Daily Grind. Today is March 9th, 2026. It is Monday. And we just saw the very last daylight savings time that, British Columbia, the westernmost province up here in Canada, is ever going to have to see. So long, sayonara, goodbye. And yet, that's not why I'm excited. Nope. I am excited because your girl finally has therapy scheduled. I finally have therapy scheduled. And I am looking forward to working with a mental health professional to work through some of these issues I've been having. He also has resources to help me get medicated for my ADHD. Chat, when I tell you that I felt good because she was so angry on my behalf when she heard about my my forays into trying to get diagnosed and then being denied. Like, damn. I knew that I found a good one. Also, she's also an ADHD girly, so that helps out a lot. It helps with the relatability. But we're not here to talk about that. Although I do have to mention that because of that, I'm not going to have any stream on Wednesday. Yeah, I'm not going to have any stream on Wednesday. I might schedule my Wednesday therapies earlier so I don't have to take a day off for that. I'll probably be cool for it. But at least for this week, as I head to her office for the first time, I want to be able to just take the time to not have to worry about meeting any other obligations. You know what I mean? Alright. In the meantime, we gotta play some blue spells. So I'm currently trying to find some cuts for Oglar, Devoted Assistant. We played this deck a couple of times. It's not what I would call stream ready, but I definitely think that I just want to change up exactly what we're doing. I love playing Master Matoya. This is not a deck I'm going to get sick of anytime soon. At the same time, though, I don't just want to play Matoya. I also want to play other decks. We'll always come back to Matoya. That's not the issue. Midnight Clock's pretty good for me. Just trying to figure out what we want. The Essence Anchor, that's Stalker. We want these cards because they provide utility. Maybe we don't need the Island Dragon because it's just tempo. tap and draw. It's not bad, but it's not like fantastic. The Cunning Azure scale though, this one draws a card. It's guaranteed to be either a land or a non-land, depending on what your preference is. I just want to figure out what we're trying to make that. Because the more creature spells we have, the better. Kitty. Maybe it's the key. Like we have some flyers, but not like a lot of flyers. Yeah. I think I'm. I think it is worth a zombie. That's worth all the zombies. How do I feel about Combat Core? 1 mana, make a 2/2. 3 mana, make a 2/2 and draw a card. That's probably about average. As opposed to like the cat where, you know, it turns into an aura, then you have to be able to connect with that aura and actually draw cards and get the value. I might put the cat back in. We'll have to see. Drake Haven is cycle or discard a card. Can we make Drakes? The Gutter Skulker is different because it actually lets us attack alone. I really want to put a card in my... Or Coast is also in a... Omen. I just like potentially going down a land. How many lands do... Or double. So it's 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37. We're already really light on... Definitely lighter than what I would typically want. Yeah, that's not fantastic. Well, I'll have to actually pull one card out. It's gonna be one last card. Hard to... We have Ponder, we already have Miscast. What about the back for some Wrath Insurance? Maybe it just is that Courier. I've never been like a huge fan of it. Actually, hold on, we got that's right. I've been wanting this card for a while in a couple of various decks. I just like have not pulled it at all. Wilds of Eldraine is still technically in standard, but we're past the point where it's going to be coming in any of those boosty packs for free. Progress update. I currently 3 chapters into that pre-beta draft. I just finished chapter 3 today. That's chapter 3. There's like... Cool, so I've got like 60 more chapters to go through and revise real quick. I got like at least one more that's going to be written whole cloth. We're up against Zurgo, Thunder's Decree. Comes into play, makes it so that way tokens can't be sacrificed, which means edict effects are turned off and the mobilize effects stick around. Not fast enough. I do really like having the containment construct here, and the Wanderer could do some stuff. See, this is a copy of any creature we control. We can make a copy of the Wanderer. Got Obstructionist to stop a triggered ability. Mostly, I'm thinking about Oglar. You know what? I'll keep this up based on the fact that I can play Wanderer into Oglar. Protect Oglar from removal for a turn. And then we'll just have to believe in the little guy. Okay. Yeah, go ahead. Play Oglar. If they try to fire off or Fatal Push... Yep, and then, yeah, we go ahead, we sacrifice, we pop the Tragic Slip. Am I supposed to attack first? I'm probably supposed to. Oh, let's see, this is a cycle. Alright. Here are the Great Glass Spinner or Mox Amber. That's actually a pretty tough question. I think I actually want to hold on to Kira. This is actually going to be really tough. Alright, so Kira can block Arabella. That's great for us. It turns off all their removal, basically. So now Oglar can stick around. The Mox would have been really good for tempo. Yep. No reason not to block here. Let's see. Giraffe or Ghost Pilferer? Cast a spell during your turn other than your first spell that turn. Makes a zombie. The 2/3 means the body that can block pretty good. Zergo has a hard time. Yeah. I think I'm grabbing Giraffe. Yeah. So go ahead. Play Giraffe. Now their attacks aren't like as clean. Because they can attack him with Arabella, they can attack him with Zergo. We can go ahead and start double blocking. Voice of Victory is pretty good against blue decks. Oh, Chalet. Okay. Narc Amoeba for sure. Then we'll draw out the Mystic Sanctuary. Yeah. And that's why we have the Narc Amoeba. Sweet. Can't use the Mystic Sanctuary, unfortunately. This is actually a problem. On each creature that enters the battlefield under your control, this is just can't cast spells, so I need to use the Obstructionist to stop that. Yeah, that's really miserable. Pass the turn. Let's see. They're going to declare attacks first and foremost. Yeah, that's Plot the Spider Queen. I can't stop that.
Darkness will swallow the light.
I think what I need to do is I need to commit to using... Yep. Wait, no, this has Vigilance, right? Okay, so they just don't want it to, like... Oh my god, that's actually so much damage. Holy shit. Yep. I'm gonna hit for 10! Pass the blockers. I need to get rid of Zergo, right? Yeah, I need to get rid of Zergo. I also need to get rid of Arabella. So, we can go... Just always... Oh, or Arabella. We have to get rid of both, but I only have 5 points of power. If I only have 5 points of power... and I have to get rid of voice. I have 6. I can commit to, like... Go over here. Block. Go over here. That's so bad, though. The Voice of Victory is so bad. I could, if they sacrifice all of those, that's ideal. I guess I just have to go block everything over here. Yeah, 4 blocks. All right, this is the price we have to pay for glory. I mean, the Arabella still being on the board, it fucking sucks. I think we just perish at this point, unless I hit something amazing off the top.
Do what I demand.
I got Flesh Crafter. Copy of any creature on the battlefield. Unfortunately, it's just too late. 1, 2... Big cards do I have? Or... I can try... I can go crash in here. I can... That way the Narc Amoeba goes away. Giraffe here. Is unfortunately they call a really bad situation. I'm doing this specifically so they try and like block the Narcomoeba. Oh no, they're just gonna go ahead and... Yep. Sure. Oh, right. Not my finest moment. Not my finest moment by a long shot. What do I have to hit here? Like, exactly... Yeah, that doesn't get me there. GG. Unfortunately, these zombies do come into play tapped. So I can't really rely on them for blocking. The Arabella is what did it. Like, don't get me wrong, the Loth is a strong value engine, and Zerko is plenty powerful on his own, but it was the Arabella that put it over the top and just, like, done us. Maybe what I need is a Stern Scolding, some effect like that for tempo reasons. Or if it gets a Sephiroth Fabled Soldier. You have Slip out the back. Drake Haven is okay. You get to go first. Bryson Borrower to bounce the Sephiroth is okay. I'm not, like, excited about this hand. Eaten by Piranhas. Okay. Boston is here because we can cast it off of Mayhem. Overlord is here. Moraine is here. Case of the Lost Witness is cool. I think the Eaten by Piranhas is what sells me on this. I don't know. This hand feels a little clunky. Like, they can go Thoughtseize, take the Eaten by Piranhas. They don't go Thoughtseize, Eaten by Piranhas. I can actually now hold on to this as a fetch land. Let's see. Shuffle 4 Fibblethip into our deck and then draw. Oh, that is exactly what I didn't want to see. Heck. Alright, well, there's Merfolk Looter. We've missed our first land drop. Doesn't matter too much if we can get Oglor down. Oglor counts for... Well, now that's interesting. Because we actually do want our cards going away. They play Sephiroth, they can sack a creature. They play Sephiroth and sack a creature to kill a creature that's still only 3 targets. That's... And then, yeah, we get to go ahead and use Case of the Lost Witness as Future Sight now. So, like, we're behind. Oh. I didn't even notice. Yep. Yep, they can go ahead and hit me. That's fine. Yeah, Sephiroth, he's going to be a redraw. And it's like, they're just going to have ways to stack Sephiroth and get out of this by Piranhas. I just really want it to be... Maybe it's the... maybe it's the... Oh. Whatever I play is just going to get discarded. Yep, that's going to be 1, 2... What are we doing? Is it the Mirror Hole? Could I actually have this be Sephiroth eventually? Might be the Flood Pits. Might just not have time. Sure, yeah. Okay. Did hit. Yes, exactly what we want for this. I can even just, like, swap that Polluted Delta. Polluted Delta's on the top. I do want to replay Oglor. They probably have, like, a ton of, like, Fleshback Marauder effects. Which isn't, like, ideal. I'm just so far behind. Black market connection. Let's crack this now and see if we hit like 1 mana. You don't hit it. Alright, exile the 1 card from the opponent's graveyard. They could exile the... Okay, they're not going to give me the free land. That's fine. I do just kind of take 4. And I'm not going to not activate Merfolk Looter each turn. Like, we don't win unless we get that going. Spirit Medallion's kind of cool. I can use Crystal Tower next turn to, like, slow them down a turn. Just also starts turboing out. Mausoleum helps out. I want to get Oglar down next turn. Okay. This is where the skill intensive drudgery is happening. I can use Mirror Hall Mimic and make a copy of Sephiroth. I think that's what I need. And I think I'm probably getting rid of the Moraine here. Witness Protection. That's interesting. That messes things up, though. Because if I want to use Mirror Hall Mimic, and then, like, have to deal with Sephiroth, that's not great. Also, I don't think it could transform, right? I don't think so. Well, no, if it's a token copy, I don't know how that works. Damn. You know what? I'm going to buy myself a turn, then. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to Crystal Tower. I'll Crystal Tower and I can bounce the black market connections if nothing else happens. Okay, so they're going to go full monkey. No reason for them not to. Yeah, they can go ahead and eat the Moraine River. We don't care about that. We just want to make sure that we can get Oglar down. Alright. Now cast a spell. Cast a spell. Now you want to cast magic. Witness Protection doesn't do anything immediately, but it is a long-term solution to having getting a chance to deal with Sephiroth. Oh, that is the perfect card for me to counter. Yeah, so counter target spell, tap all creatures they control. Yeah. That's gonna exile. That exiles the cryptic command. Yep. Exile everything but the thing that I really want. Sapphire Medallion, still good. I think I might need that just to start like deploying threats more easily. I think that's about right. Create a 2/2 black zombie token. We lose. Oh hey, Fibblethip. Alright, so we need to go ahead. We need to cast Geralf. I can cast Fibblethip off the top. But now we actually have things that we can do. Let's see if this equates into turning the corner here. Yep, and then they can go ahead. I need to get Fibblethip down because I've just like lost so much value. That's potentially like 2 zombies I could have had. Geralf is also probably going to eat removal, if we're being honest. Yep. Go ahead. Exile up to 1. So like they don't have to exile the Overlord, but they are going to exile the Overlord. And now, what's a perfect turn sequence for us? Oglar with Museum and Unctus. Meanwhile, pass the blockers. Block. Actually, you know what? Let's not trade with a rat. We'll just trade with two. I'm gonna need this mirror mimic. I just need it. I need it. I'm not gonna have time. Oh no, Massacre Worm. Okay. Well, that sucks. Yeah, that's... I was just way too slow to get out of it. Missing 2 turns worth of land drops did me in. So now, even if I copy... Sephiroth, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Actually, hold on. The Massacre Worm works both ways. Like, I can copy the Massacre Worm, I can wipe their board, and then I have a 6/5 that trades. I have to deal with Sephiroth. I could get rid of the Massacre Worm. Yeah, if I get rid of the Massacre Worm with this Witness Protection, that could work. Yeah. Well, let's try doing that then. I mean, Sephiroth does come back down. I hate it. I hate it so much. But hey, you know what? That's something. We're pulling it back. We're pulling it back. Okay, so now what do we do? Do we go Unctus? 2-mana Treasure Cruise isn't bad. What happens if we die, though? Like, if the Massacre Worm dies? I think I'm just going Mausoleum Wanderer, play Febblethip, so that way we have some extra bat blockers. And then we pray to God that they don't have Sephiroth plus Sack Outlet, because that's what kills us. Oh, I guess I could have played Febblethip on the top and gotten, like, a second draw on that last turn. Find our outs. These aren't pretty outs. I see. So now all they have to do is play Sephiroth, sack a token, attack us with the bearer, we lose. I guess we'll see how this plays out. But I'm pretty sure that's the line that seals our fate. Again, we're just not getting off fast enough. I was hoping that we can go down to 37 lands because we can... Oh, yeah, that would also just, like, do it. Yeah, it's just, like, sack a creature, sack a treasure. Yeah, GG's. So then... Let's keep playing. Let's play some more games to see if we can figure this out. So if we're playing tempo, right? We're not looking to play a control deck with Oglar. We need to play tempo. We need small, efficient counterspell. We don't really get to play any of the really big counterspell. Mana Leak is probably the most expensive that we can do. Like, Cryptic Command is a really good counterspell, but if I could have, I definitely would have preferred to be able to hold up counter magic and then deploy some stuff. High Bay is weird. They're gonna get value right away off of High Bay. I've got a Sink of the Stupor for tempo. Burgeoning is a problem eventually. Not even eventually, like, it's an immediate problem, sure. But it really doesn't do anything. Maybe I should have pawned it first to guarantee that I hit my third land drop so I can use Sink of the Stupor for tempo. But at this point, I don't think I'm even going to get a chance to like, use it or cast it. Yeah, I just don't get a chance to do any of that. Burgeoning is such a weird card, because unless you're playing a deck that could reload, it doesn't do anything. So, like, I can Azure Scale. Ponder just doesn't do anything anymore, so let's just Oglar now. And then, yeah, they can go ahead, spin their wheel. They'll get the tap Satan Weaver for 2 mana. 3 mana, actually. And they hit more mana. That's the kind of shrine that we do want to see them hit. Thassa! That's like the one thing I really didn't want to see them hit. And now they can start draining life out of us to hit land drops. Let's think about this for a second. How do we start fixing this? How do we pull ourselves out before Thassa and High Bay just take over the game? Because now Unable to Scream doesn't do jack shit. I've got Sink into the Stupor here. If it didn't have Thassa, but they do, I can bounce High Bay to their hand for a turn. That's like one thing I can do. Like, I can bounce it to their hand in response to the upkeep trigger, in response to the end step trigger. I'm not developing my board then. But I do get, like, another turn to try and deal with that. And then maybe we need, like, something like an annul. We could probably play some of the more cheaper niche cards. Yeah, I think we might need to use Sink of the Stupor here just to get some tempo going. So, yeah, we go ahead, they dink us, they get free mana. As long as they don't have a follow-up play to this, then we have a chance. As it is, I'm not confident, but I'll happily see an Elvish Mystic over... Okay, good. So they're out of gas. If we bounce High Bay, we really need them... Let's see. Second main phase. If I bounce Thassa, they just replay it. So I have to go to end step. So you're saying there's a chance. I hope there's a chance. Like, this is just delaying it by a turn. Yep, they'll go ahead. They'll make a bunch of spirits that push damage. Spirits that are not shrines, notably. And now I have to find, like, just anything. Jace is not what we're looking for right now. Jace could theoretically, like, draw us out things later. Not right now. Yeah, nice Burgeoning. Burgeoning doesn't matter anymore until they start drawing a lot more cards. I can play Geralf. I can't do anything here. Right? Yeah, I can't do anything about High Bay coming down. I can get Geralf down. I can start double spelling. And I think that's kind of what I just have to commit myself to, is trying to outrace them now. During my turn. So as long as I keep double spelling, we're... Odawara is kind of the same issue. They're casting High Bay every turn. It's not really doing a lot. Gran doesn't help out. Cure the Glass Spinner. I'm going to go ahead and shuffle. And I guess we'll just loop in for 1. And now this turn they get 2. So, like, the amount of shrines they get ultimately has not changed. The difference is that they're going to have at least one cycle where if they hit a mediocre land, it's not going to do a lot. Okay, so that's during their upkeep. Idyllic Tutor. They have all the mana in the world to pay for that, so Mausoleum Wanderer does not do anything. Yeah. So, like, we know... Teleportation circle? No, fuck that shit. Notably, teleportation circle is just redundancy for high bit for Thassa, because you can't target high bay with both of them and then have both of those resolve. It just means that now if we deal with one, that we can't deal with the other, and we're just too slowed for that. Yeah, we really need to find ways to slow them down. So what does that look like? I'm going to keep playing a couple of games because this is the point where I need to figure out, like, which cards are not carrying their weight and what am I looking... And, which ones can I afford to cut out? Because maybe I can't afford to play the Moraine Riverboa, even though it's a draw 3, discard 1, because it costs 4 mana. But then again, the effect is so big that maybe that's how I want to fill out my top end. Like, this is the first deck in a while that we have played on stream where it just, like, has not been ready for consumption off the bat. The Narcomoeba being here is awkward. We have Flip to redraw, which is fine. Disruption for tempo. And a Ponder. But I don't know. The Temporal Trespass here. What? Okay, I think this actually works out a little better because now we have Utter Insignificance. We're up against the Planet Conjurer. This card, whenever it enters, they conjure a planet onto the field, and whenever it attacks, you make a lander token that also becomes a flying creature. Like, they get to play Bant Control. And I'm going to go ahead and play out Vision as a land. We have Wash Away, we have Slip Out the Back. I might even just, like, lead off on Fibblethip just to draw. Let's see. If they're playing Bant, they can have any number of... Oh, just like straight up actual factual Wrass. Yay. Yep, like I said, it's gonna be Bant Control. I don't feel confident about our current build. But if we get to untap, and we get to untap with Slip Out the Back available, that's pretty great. I'm hoping that they decide to take a turn to set up rather than trying to deal with Oglar. But because we're mono blue, they might decide to just hit us while shields are down. That's the risk you take. That is the risk you take. I knowingly took that risk. And, like, it is what it is. Is it an issue? I don't think it is. Yeah, and we have... Maybe I need to cut some of these. Yeah, let's reevaluate exactly what we're doing here. Menagerie Curator, really? So just... So that way, whenever they cast their... I hate that so much. I hate that. I actually hate that. Because now they can use the Curator to basically turn the commander into a redraw as well. Commanders that can help pay for their own tax are already, like, just really good. Like, better than they have any right to be. Oh, that is infuriating. I could fresh start this. -5, -0, loses all abilities, flash. I think I want... Yeah, we just always have to play the theater. I don't get to play with 3 mana this turn. But now we are in a position where we can keep something up. And then... Here, we're going to flash in Utter Insignificance. Get rid of that. Pass the turn. We're telegraphing Wash Away up. That's fine. Don't care. We're having issues against control decks. It usually means that we have an issue. Ooh, search for a Scanta. Okay. So, I have Mystic Sanctuary right here. Mystic Sanctuary is not going to do anything for me, though. So... yeah, we'll go ahead. We'll sink in the Stupor. Go ahead, pay the 3 life there. Here's Diversion Unit. Diversion Unit is now a real card. And then I will even search for a Scanta, just to get that going. Ah, wait, no. I was not supposed to play search for a Scanta yet. Because I want to hold up Wash Away and Diversion Unit in order to leak whatever counter magic they might have to protect their commander. God damn it. One fucking F6'd. There's one fucking F6. On the plus side, I do have this fresh start, so if they spend their counter magic to stop the Wash Away, then I can go ahead. Overlord, you say? Yeah, that's a really good one. That is a really good one. Yeah. Case of the Lost Witness. Absolutely. I'm still not wanting to play Mystic Sanctuary. We have Case already set, though. And it gave us the Narc Amoeba anyway. Thank you, deck. That is statistically possible. Mana's not going to be the issue anymore. But we do have a 6/5 to deal with. And we are not equipped to deal with a goddamn 6/5. I guess I'll just die then. Oh, hey, Sword Course Serpent. That's relevant. I could bounce the Overlord. Yeah, I don't mind using Sword Coast Serpent to bounce the Overlord for tempo. Mana is no longer the bottleneck here. Oh, and Paleotar. Yes, thank you. This is a very capricious, so I'm gonna be in. Like what? One Reverse Rebuke, one Farewell. That's gonna be bad for us. Oh, they're gonna double spell with the Overlords. Okay. Works for me. If we can get Palantir going, that's an eventual win condition. And I'm still really holding on to the Sanctuary because I value being able to recycle a key card. Like, pretty soon, we're going to get to the point where they can just, like, cast Vivs. No problem. Protection. That's a card that's going to get milled. Let's go ahead and mill it, then. I can leave it on top, but I am going to shove it to the grid. Hello. Yes, 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 yes. Excellent. All right. Here's the pressure. We have actual, real pressure now. Sweet. Okay. I need to be careful with, like, exactly how I do this. Because now Wash Away is starting to look like a real counterspell. But... get the orb down. Orb is live. Pass the turn. We have a ton of stuff coming up. Actually, hold on. Do I want land? No. I'm going to ship it to the bottom in case there's a land on top. That way we can ship it away. Would be a lot better with Oglar in the deck. Just gonna say. And we have Eaten by Piranhas on top. Cool. This creature enters with 3 counters on it. Remove a counter, draw a card. Root 2, tap a creature, put a stun counter on it. Let's see. I should save for... but let's go ahead and just, like, Eaten by Piranhas. They're not going to cast a commander, and we're still a few turns away from the Overlord with a real clock coming up. Are they going to spend Blink on this? No, they're going to cash in. They're going to draw. They can, like, activate that a whole 3 turns and reload their hand, but that's a lot of mana to commit to that. Alright, Surveil. Toss that land away as well. Transform as Scanta. I don't know that I want to. I think it's actually more valuable to do that. And then... Still nothing? Oh yeah, we absolutely need to cut these fetch lands out. I don't mind the other fetch lands, but these ones coming to play tapped is actually killing me. Champion of Wits. I don't want to commit too hard to using Oglar right this second, but we do have a slip out available. And if it's a Wrath, I don't know that we're as well set up. Yeah, we're not really like set up just yet to fight off Oglar and whatever it is they have. I've got Wash Away, I've got Crystal Tower, I've got Slip out the back. I've got so many things I can fight with right now. Ooh, actually a Curiosity would be good because that would help with some of the card draw issues. That would be some really good ones. Champion of Wits. How am I feeling about that? I think we're just passing the turn. Ooh, dig through time. I don't mind leaving the creature on top, in part because... Yeah, exactly. They don't want to take more damage. We have dig through time coming up now. So we can actually eat all these not creatures. And get like a super cheap draw spell. I think if we were to do something like this and just have Oglar available to help us dig and filter, that might be fine. Does that put us into closer of a control range? I think so. Yeah, I think we're so slow to get started that we have to think of this deck as a control deck too. Now they have 6 cards in hand, but those 6 cards could honestly be anything, including all lands. Alright, so there's the first one. We're going to go ahead and just wash it away. And then they can try and like recast, and that's fine. Render silent, counter target spell. Its controller can't cast spells this turn. So then... Yeah, we go ahead. Actually, I have the mana to spend on Diversion Unit. So then let's counter target spell, and then let's draw a card. I think that's actually probably more pertinent. Because now the Crystal Tower replaces itself. If they try and do like anything else, now we're gonna pop the Diversion Unit. Yeah. There we go. That was a whole turn's worth of fighting. And while we did lose a little bit of our clock, we're in a super great position now. And we can use our Mystic Sanctuary to get the Cryptic Tower back. Or the Crystal Tower. The Cryptid Tower? The Cryptic Tower? The Tower of Cryptids? I also don't hate Brazen Borrower, just because then once these two tick down to creature size, we can use Borrower to bounce it back to their hand. It's still going to take us a little bit to actually like pull through here, because our clock is really slow. But now we can think about getting Oglar down. Basic Sanctuary, put the Crystal Tower back on top for sure, for sure. And then if they make me mill it, Orb it deals at least 4, that's potentially lethal. Okay, I think we have a better idea of what it is that we want to be doing. There is an issue, I have to admit, of just like we can't necessarily use those narrow answers in a long drawn out game like this, even though I think, you know what, maybe Ogler just favors a long control game. Ooh, leaving their commander in the graveyard. Brave choice. Ooh, and Hermit. Actually, you know what? Before I do anything, go ahead, we'll play the Hermit. Miscast off the top. Oh, I guess technically speaking, I don't even need to, like, draw into the thing. But now this means that I have Malevolent Hermit backup and I have Miscast backup directly underneath. Turns out Future Sight's a pretty good card. I think the opponent's done, though. So what I'm hearing is, much like Matoya, I have a deck that I initially wanted to build as a smaller aggro tempo deck, but it accidentally turned out it was a control deck instead that just happens to play a lot of creatures, which is really weird, but does mean that we can start making some swaps. I think that's probably how we'll end stream for the day. And then, yeah, we'll just go ahead and leave it like that. Because either I get to draw the Crystal Tower, or I just win, I guess. Okay. GG. That got a little intense towards the end there. I did not think that we were actually going to be able to pull it out against a Viv's deck. I wonder if maybe if they had been a little more aggressive with playing Vivzi. I'll just call it Vivzi. I wonder if they had been a little more aggressive with playing Vivzi, then things would have worked out. Like, I can imagine playing Vivzi with like one or two, with maybe like one counterspell backup. You're usually pretty good because if you can jam Vivzi, you get the land and it doesn't really matter what removal. But I guess if you're playing against mono blue, you're thinking about the counter magic. At the same time, though, you managed to resolve Overlord of Flood Pits and Hauntwoods. I don't know. They were playing Doomscar, so that kind of tells me that they probably had like Supreme Verdict as well. Supreme Verdict's really good at clearing out the graveyard, or clearing off the field, getting rid of threats. That Fibblethip went all the way, by the way. Oh, that's right. And we've got some boosty packs that we can open now. We've got 3 turtle packs. First one is Splinter, Radical Rat. The ability of a ninja you control triggers that ability, triggers an additional time. And then he can also make target ninja not be... He can make target ninja unblockable. Oh, and that's an Esper commander. Okay. Don and Leo, Problem Solvers. This one is a Blinky Blink type card. Madam Null, Power Broker. Demon Advisor, it's a 1/3 Death Toucher. Whenever a creature you control enters, you can pay life equal to its power. If you do, put that many counters on it. Pay life equal to its power to double its power. I'm really not going to bother playing any of the cards until I see that there's some cool tech in there. Or until I'm looking for something specifically that can be filled by it. Alright, so if we're trying to think about this in terms of like... What do we want? We want really good tempo play. Boomerang Basics kind of... But I really want to take a look at our counter magic. First things first. Go ahead and take out literally the... I don't know what I'm... They add... to... or being able to play the deck. Target player draws 3, discard 3. That's come up a couple. Vantress. Don't think we actually want. Sandbar. We can. And then we have some amount of fetch lands in here. 1, because they do grab Mystic Sanctuary. And 2, because Brainstorm plus fetch lands is really good. I need to... Put aside Temporal Trap. Put aside, like, our... That's an adventure card. This is Omen card, which means it shuffles back into our deck, which is actually kind of better than an adventure. I'll still play our creature lands. That's just the way to slip more creatures into the deck. Maybe I don't want... Maybe I don't want Disruption. Saloon Division. If I'm not going to add to the creature count. Like, the tempo seems like it actually matters quite a bit. Yeah, I think tempo actually matters quite a bit in this deck. Taking the turn off to play cards that are tapped lands hurts a lot. I'm literally playing this wizard card just because it's a creature. It's a creature that we can count as a land. This comes into play untapped at the cost. This is also a creature that comes into play tapped as a tapped land, and also it's a clone. But like mostly it's because it's a creature. Double check. Still be in the 34, 33? Yeah, 33 land ballpark. Having lands that are also pitch cards matter for like subtlety and force of negation. Why was I not thinking about force of negation? Force of negation. Then again, it's probably been a long while. Like, why are we not playing Flare Denial? Why are we not playing Force of Negation? That type of thing. It's weird. They're such good cards that they're pretty much auto-includes, and yet I just completely forget to include them. Like, it's a free pitch and a free pitch, both of which I've been playing in Matoya. Then I also need to make sure that we sort out our counter mat. For space purposes, I'm gonna the lands over cards. We're not really in conversation with the mana curve. So let's see. The Mausoleum Wanderer, Storm Tamer, Malevolent Hermit, Diversion Unit. These are good just because they are counter magic. And like you saw how the Diversion Unit ended up playing a key role in winning that counter war. Like, I legitimately thought that their frame of mind was, okay, well, at least if I lose this counter war, then I still get rid of the Diversion Unit and I buy myself more time, right? Like, yeah, they're drawing an extra card every turn because I can't lose life off of the orb, but I at least get rid of a 2/1 flyer and I can jump block the 2/2 Fibblethip. But now I guess they just, like, completely forgot it was out because that was when the game started stalling. Lantern's Lift. Kind of like the cat. Hold on, what was it? I might actually want the cat again, now that we're switching to a more controlling role. Because being able to draw an extra card every turn for a control build is really important. Covetous Castaway is one of those cards that you include because it's an early blocker. We'll go ahead and grab those. The Disturb cards, just, they trigger by themselves. Draw a card, then discard a card. Sure. Like, you get more creatures out, you don't get overrun. Like when we played against Zergo. That's the reasoning. Now we need to make sure that we have, like, actual factual counter magic to help back these guys. Oh yeah, I am not running actual factual counterspell or mana leak. This seems like a mistake. Did I just get 2 lost in the sauce, chat? I feel like I am. Activate only during your turn and only if a card left your graveyard this turn. I don't know if Essence Anchor is like quite what we want, but if we're playing a... I think I cut the... We don't need to go that hard. Night Clock is... Monument to Endurance is actually... Freedom... This is another one of those cards that makes me go, are we going too hard on this? But... Things to think about later. Wash Away, Spell Pierce, Sleep of the Dead. Like, maybe now I'm going too hard into this. This is 3 mana, exile 3 cards, as opposed to 3 mana, exile 5 cards. Draws a card. This one is more tempo based. This one works better with less resources. And it's not like we're turbo dumping cards in. Maybe we just cut... No, I think we need 1 escape card. I genuinely think we want 1 escape card. Boomerang Basics is good, but maybe... I don't actually... Cut that back out. Show me actual factual counterspell and mana leak. Like, that'll help the tempo a lot. Double check any of these Seek cards, because these Seek cards actually end up being pretty good. Draw a card, then discard a card, only you activate cast, and no. Oh, because its name is Seeker of Insight. There's a lot of goods. Good news is we are playing a ton of looters. Don't really need to worry too much. Gonna kind of naturally big. Whenever this creature attacks, a random land card in your library perpetually becomes a basic island in addition to its other types and gains when this land enters draw. I mean, I don't hate it. There are definitely a lot of scenarios where I think this is probably okay. But we're not really worried too much. Right. We're only playing like the 4 fetch lands. Like double check all the fun alchemy cards. Double check, make sure that we have the not collected button up. That way we can see anything that we have not collected. This card is so good. Like, that was easily the reason why we won that last one, and it's part of why we managed to like have a chance at those clear games that we lost. Yeah. Double thinking. There's plenty of other like narrow counterspell type stuff that we can think about. Hold on, that's right, the cast. We don't need a lot of counter. Oh wow, early streams. Is this summertime? No, not quite, Sam. It is in fact daylight savings. So because of daylight savings, this is now like the new schedule permanently going forward. Like, there's not going to be any rollback. It is just going to be yeah. At my place in my time zone of the world, it is now 3:00 p.m. I think if we're switching to a control deck, then we still want Crystal Tower, right? Still want Mystic Command. Maybe that's why I keep calling it Mystic. Overlord. Wonder is still good here. Oh, right, that's right. That's what I wanted to grab. I wanted to grab the... add Enduring Curiosity to... I think Enduring Curiosity helps out a lot. Sometimes one of the issues with this deck is that we're card neutral because we're filtering. And then when we run out of cards, the looting doesn't actually do anything. We need to cut like 6 cards real quick, and then we could go play Final Fantasy. Naga Flesh Crafter's actually been. There were like a couple of cards in here that I'm impressed by. These are trying to get back in. I think we cut Kiora because weirdly enough, we're not actually wanting to be at threshold for her. We're trying to like constantly eat our graveyard for resources. So Kiora can go. Champion of Wits has Eternalized, so it gets itself out of the graveyard. Upburnt Oculus is kind of like a dredge card. Weren't a land, I would cut the Horned Whale, Cunning Scale, Brazen Borrower. The Sword Coast Serpent, weirdly enough, it's actually worse than the Omens because it goes into exile, but you know, beggars can't be choosers. Ledger Shredder, Kitsa, Jace, Pilfer. I guess Pilfer's on. Covetous Castaway, Catgeist, Grand Grand, and Bearer. Pretty sure Scion of the Deep could have defeated all of Garlemald by themselves. That's probably about right. I don't know, how many creatures do we have in here? We have 38, which is quite a bit, but that's actually what you want with a creature-focused commander like Oglar. So if we're going to cut anything, it has to come out of the bottom. Okie dokie. So then, as much as I think the escape cards are good, I might need to consider cutting a couple of those. We're not playing Aetherai. I think I cut the Midnight Clock. I think I cut the Essence Anchor. I think I want to put Aetherized into this deck. Because that's something that can really help stabilize against the aggro decks. More so than a Psych Rift can, weirdly enough. So we're going to change the Psych Rift slot over to Aetherize. Psych Rift will bounce a single creature. It'll bounce everything at 7 mana. But I just need the tempo of Aetherize more. We gotta cut 3 more cards. Clear the Mind is interesting. I have it in there because it is a good reshuffle. It's a reshuffle. Those creatures go back into the deck. They still have the effect to make zombies when they leave the graveyard. Kind of the same with the Bath Song, except this will let us target the creatures we put back. I don't know that we need them when we have things like Glimpse of Freedom, though. So, cut Bath Song, cut Clear the Mind, focus more on the control aspect. Which means we need to just one last cut. Leave Brainstorm, leave Ponder, of course. Search for Ascanta, good. Glimpse of Freedom, good. Fresh Start. Like, you want your removal. Maybe we can cut, like, 1 creature now that we're kind of at bare bones with regards to the enablers. It feels like we're basically playing control until we can get 1 big delve spell off. And then it's just like lights out. Know what I mean? Wonder, Vazin, Flesh Crafter. And then we can try this deck out again when we come back. Yeah. Some of these disturbed cards, like, admittedly aren't very impressive. Like Mischievous Catgeist. But it's cute. What can I say? Pilfer. Alright. Maybe I just cut the sword. Cuts down the interaction just a little bit. But the fact that it doesn't get shuffled back in, unlike the other cards, I don't know. We can always add it back in later. All right, shall we go over to Final Fantasy? Close out the music. Room is clean. Loaded up. Take care of this bird. Let's see. Is there a chance that we get our bird chores done this week? Maybe. Possible. By the way, for folks that are joining us partway through, there will not be any stream this Wednesday because now I get a chance to go to therapy. I'm looking forward to it. Going forward, assuming that this therapist, that things work out with this therapist, and I end up wanting to see her again, what'll probably happen is I'll schedule therapy for a little earlier in the morning. That way I can come back, have some time to relax, and then still stream per normal. However, I also need to be open to the idea that maybe things don't work out and there's just like 3 days a month that I don't stream. Which, like, hey, if you think about it, it's like what, 4 days or 4 weeks per month, roughly speaking. And then that's 5 days a week. That's 20 days. That's 20 stream days. I only streamed 17 of them. It's not the worst. It's not the worst. That's like what, a oh god, I can't math. 17 out of 20 was like 5, so like 50, 85, that's like 85%. You mean 85% of the time I win 100% of the time? Sure, let's go with that. Anyway. Oh, that's right, Wondrous Tales 2. Clear out some of the here soon. Well, first things first, we gotta make sure those birds first get taken. I am very much looking forward to working with this therapist. I was telling Chat earlier, Chat, I says, this therapist here, she actually got angry when I told her that the doctor I went to get diagnosed did not fucking diagnose me, and in fact, said that, no, I think you should just have the autism. Just have the autism and maybe some PTSD. Go and see a psychologist about those. She got mad for me. And a therapist that gets mad on your behalf, that is a good sign. You know, like, you know, I'm not saying that the relationship can't go south, but like, there is at least an internal, you understand where I'm coming from, and you understand my frustration. You're making me feel seen right now. So, let's go ahead and see where this takes us. And if you're saying, "Wow, Hero Girl, you're making this sound like, you know, you went out to coffee with someone and now you're going to see them for a second date," you're not wrong. Now, this obviously isn't, you know, dating your therapist, but I have often said that trying to find a therapist that's right for you is very much like dating. Yeah, like it's not as if every mental issue can fill so much slots or manner, I think. People can have several at the same time. Yep. And I said the exact same thing to her too. I was like, and I told this guy, hey, you know, I'm kind of picking up what you're saying here, that I probably have some amount of PTSD, but hey, have you considered that children who grow up in unsafe homes and have to cope with ADHD, like, you know, unsupportive homes, have you considered that maybe those situations are so bad that they come away with PTSD as well? Did ya? Probably not. Geez, go to get the mail and come back to Final Fantasy 14. Wasn't gone that long, was it? I mean, we only just like started Final Fantasy 14. We are like a quarter after 3. Trust me, would you rather be, you know, putting Final Fantasy 14 on in the background, which is, you know, at least genre adjacent to some of the games that you know? Or would you rather it be, you know, Gacha Waifu Simulator number 342? This isn't like a snide comment or anything. This is just more of a, if I wasn't actually doing Final Fantasy 14 for the back half of this, what would I be doing? Because I think we've come to the point of acknowledging that, no, actually, I do not want to stream Magic for 2 hours straight. Like, some people can do that, and I think that's great. But because I'm doing this primarily to do dailies and whatnot, as soon as those dailies are met, I've already got my endorphins for the day, and we just gotta move on and get other progress endorphins going. Oh, damn. 4.2 earthquake down in Colombia. Yeah, stay safe, Sam. Stay safe. Waifu simulator. Alright, so I have come to the determination that I do not need to return to Fate Grand Order, actually. Actually, it is incredibly good and based of me to say, definitively, no, I am done with Fate Grand Order for sure, and I will not be returning, even now that I'm in a better situation. Purely because, as I was working on the book, I wrote a whole chapter about what Grand Order did for me. And it kind of made me realize that in the stories that Fate's Day Night tells, these are stories where heroes return for a little bit. They fight in this war. They fight these battles. They make an impression and leave influence and inspiration in their wake. They inspire their masters and the people around them to be a little better, be a little stronger, or otherwise just like, completely lead them to ruin. But ultimately, they shouldn't be here. Like, Shiro was right. People die when they're killed. That's natural. They're not supposed to come back to life. And when I was playing Fate Grand Order, I was in a part of my life where I desperately needed something to focus on and cling to. As A. Lillian once said, burn as fuel. Just to get me through that rough point in my life. Now that I am past that point, I don't need Fate Grand Order the way that I did. And so, if I don't need it, then honestly, maybe the best way to honor what that game and those characters did for me is to let them rest. Leave the account closed and just hold on to the memories and the screenshots that I accumulated while. It's like Amadeus said, right? The best parting gift is a smile. Funny how that would get echoed a few years later when I was playing through Heavensward for the first time. Actually comical, cosmically speaking. Oh, these guys. Wait, what? Where'd those birds go? Are you telling me I zooted them right out of the atmosphere with one fireball? Holy shit. All I did was a little swift cast fire too. And now they're ashes. Truly, I am becoming the greatest black mage of all time. Also, yeah, I didn't realize that my chair was still picking up on all this. So, for that, you have my apologies. If I had known sooner that I was, so noisy that I don't know that I would have done anything different, but I would have been a little bit. But just know that if you hear that banging, then I am once again shifting, because god damn it, blood flow is important. Can't stick in one place. Quote from Sam. Yeah, letting go of a long game is a peculiar situation because a long book you just finish and that's it, but a long game just keeps going and going and going. Either letting go or waiting for the end of service. Yeah. Yep. And in a lot of respects, I think it would have been nice. Weirdly enough, I met Braun through Fate Grand Order. I'm pretty sure through like Facebook pages that he and or I were running. And it'd be nice to get back into the Fate Grand Order conversation. But, you know, I took a break from Final Fantasy so that way I could maintain a healthy relationship with the thing that I love. And someday, I'm gonna want to come back to Fate. Maybe not playing the game, but definitely watching the show. Definitely watching this. Like, I know Strange Fate is coming out. I don't have any immediate plans to watch it. But my okay, oh, it's Big Grounds Eater. That's what it is. Yeah, we don't care. At some point, my husband and I want to share Fate with our wife, because that was the big thing that we were into when we first started dating. Like, that was the big thing that kept, like, that we could bond over when we were living apart. And it'll be nice. It'll be nice to introduce wife to that. Granted, we have to be careful because it's full of trigger. Hey, what? Strange Fate's books are not finished, so be aware of that. I mean... So, like... I am not one of those people whose train of thought is, if the thing is not finished, I do not want to engage with it, because I don't want to spend a lot of time pondering the mysteries of the universe and what could have been. I do know people like that, and I don't begrudge them that, right? I know people who will not read book series that I recommend for the simple fact that it's not a finished series. It's not a finished series, and they hate reading a book, not being able to continue it in its entirety, and then just, like, being left with, when's the next one going to come out? What's it going to be about? Having that expectation built. Like, they do not want to deal with that. I respect that feeling. At the same time, I am not that person. And I would still encourage people, if, you know, as long as they don't, that's not something that they have to deal with, to engage with authors' works while they're being published in current, because if people don't, then there's just, like, no reason to continue that series outside of pure passion. And if you're doing this for a living, you really need those books that are currently being published to pay your bills so you can continue to work on the books. Like, this is the push and pull between the desperate needs of human beings. There are people who will say that pre-orders are ethical, because pre-orders are literally handing money over to a person or a company without the guarantee of quality for a product, i.e. pre-order something and then the product is shit. Well, you basically made an uninformed purchase. Refund policy be damned. But at the same time, what the fuck am I supposed to do about publishing books if I need money to publish them, and then I don't have money to publish them because I don't get the pre-orders, right? Or do it with Stephen King and just make every book somehow a sequel to another book, but at the same time, every book its own story. I mean, that's some Brandon Sanderson Cosmere stuff right there. I forgot the Q into PvP. Whoops. I forgot the Q into PvP while we were doing that. Shoot. That's lost equity. Actually, how are we... yeah, we're gonna be done with bird chores this week. Sweet. Aww. Got a sprout over there. Oh, maybe there's. Alright. Let me just pull up here real quick. Chat, this is something I'm actually thinking about quite a bit. Less so for, like, this essay book and more so for books, the books that I'm working on in general. Like when I eventually release The Knights of Crit, which is the current working title of the fantasy novel that I'm going to get back to when I'm done working on this essay book, I need to afford editing. I need to afford a cover. I need to afford a formatter to help me like format the book. That way it actually fits and reads properly on like handheld devices and stuff like that. And all of that costs money. Money I do not have. Now, I could put a lot of time and effort into it on my own, but the cover is going to be interesting. I would probably have to like photograph a thing for it. Editing, I can technically do myself, but you know, it would be a lot better if I could pay someone like say Nyx to do editing with me, to be a professional and to be a second pair of eyes to help with the help smooth the narrative experience. Formatting is probably the thing I could do on my own the most, and yet I am so unmedicated right now that I would probably have to drag my feet so hard on that. All in all, we're probably looking at about what, 2,500 CAD for everything. Probably a lot cheaper if I like skimp out on the cover and stuff. Yeah, if I skimp out on the cover, skimp out on the formatting and try and do those myself, then it's still like $2,000 to afford the editing. So like, technically, not paying $2K, technically doing $2K worth of my own stuff. But I really don't want to do that for my fantasy works. I could probably get away with that for like the first book or two, and then those will hopefully start earning money, which I can use to afford stuff. But like, wouldn't it just be better if I could afford to like get those stuff taken care of by professionals, or at least by people who know what they're doing? And also, wouldn't, you know, pre-orders help a lot with figuring out exactly what the demand for a book is? Wouldn't it help out with figuring out exactly how many I would have to print if I wanted to actually do like physical print runs? Because that's a thing I would really like to do. I would love to be a published author with physical, real books. Because if I can be like, here's a book, here is my book, and smack someone off the head with it, well then, goddamn it, that's about as much proof that I'm an author as anything. Look at it from this POV. There are people who publish shitty books with awful edition or covers. Everything you do that is better than that is already a victory. Don't need to make the premium edition as the first one. That's true. That's true. Honestly, maybe there is like some decent amount of money to do like re-releases. Be like, hey, you know what? This is a re-release edition. This is the cleaned up version, not the you know, the Raggedy Ann pulp version that we put out the first time. Although now that I think about it, I did see a video a couple of weeks back talking about how maybe you don't actually want to go the extra mile and publish everything really good. Maybe what you want to do is go full pulp. Maybe what you want to do is actually find somewhere like a magazine or something, just like literally a disposable magazine, and publish your book chapter by chapter there. You get paid for it. It's going to be cheap. It'll be whatever, but like it'll be published and it'll build up a work and it will find an audience that. Follow a depressed alcoholic poet on YouTube who already published a book about Silent Hills, a franchise. Took years, but he did it. That's true. I still don't think that, you know, pre-ordering anything is a moral issue in and of itself. I think when you try to take things like pre-orders and apply them to like video game pre-orders, where publishers will pressure devs into finishing faster than what they want to, faster than like the polish will allow, and you get like a Scarlet and Violet situation, I don't think the pre-orders are the problem. I think that is literally a structural development problem, and just a system where they value pushing things out and then saying like, you know, fix it into patches or whatever, and using that as a justification to push half-finished products out. I guess I really don't need, you know, to do my whole funding campaign, get these books published in it. So I'll do what I can. I'll self-edit. I'll incorporate beta reader feedback. Beta reader feedback is wild, by the way. There was at least one YouTuber that I was following who, as a Patreon perk, let people beta read for her, which is an amazing double dip, right? Like, this person is a booktuber who's talking about the publishing side of getting a novel out there, doing the marketing and stuff like that. Her writing is so-so, it's fine. Not what I would call spectacular by any means or whatever, but it's whatever. She did publish a whole book, so like, who am I to say anything? But the fact that she can, as a part of her Patreon, get her YouTube audience to sign up for it, to beta read for her. So you are paying money to be an advanced reader and provide feedback to the book is wild. Because that is something that is just so valuable to a writer, to have people just like read your work, tell you what you think, and then to be able to extrapolate that and then turn that into like improving your product. Like, that is something I feel like I would pay for. I feel like I would actually pay for beta readers. Now, I'm never... Yeah. Now, I'm not going to. But they are so valuable that, like, I would if I was, like, desperate. Oh, no, it's not that I would. But it's that I value reliable beta readers incredibly highly. If that makes sense. I'm already dressed for bar. Hold on. And right on cue, there's the drop frames. That I need to get. I need to get that second hard drive. I hope we can find that second hard drive. My current one, kind of very full. After I downloaded Liza P, I checked the space and I was like, oh, you're like 86%. I'm like, ooh, I gotta start cleaning out the VODs now. I guess the only real tragedy of not having money to pay for an editor is that I am not paying for Nix to edit my books, and that is just like the biggest reason why I want to do editing. Like, yeah, absolutely, I want professionally edited books to help me polish this thing, so that way it's, you know, it's more appealing. And also, if I can help a friend while doing that, then it's like, you've got some authors who will run, who will do their own publishing, but then they'll also open their own publishing house, just so that way they can run their independent book stuff, but as business. Okay. It's gonna be a good fight. Good fight. Okay, we won that fight. Fantastic. Lucky usually sticks around for stream, but you've got another 5 a.m. start time. I will shake. Thanks for hanging around, Lucky. Thank you, thank you. And I hope you have a good sleep. I hope tomorrow is not nearly as frustrating as what it could be, and I wish that your pockets stay full and your socks stay dry. There we go. You have the official blessing of Hero Girl. In the meantime, I keep saying that investors should really just give me money, because if they give me money, then I can invest it. I know trans girls that I could, you know, funnel those funds to, and they would just spend all of their time creating. They would spend all the time making funny video essays, doing good art. It'd be great. It would just be literally the best. Ooh, I am going to fucking die. Ah, no! They literally chased me down. Let's see, what would I do? I just like had enough money to hire some people. Could make my video essays a lot more quickly, that's for sure. Even though I do like making my essays like a bit personal with the editing, I would really like the ability to... Is an island going to give permanent income for the artists, the registered artists there? Do that everywhere. Yeah, they should be. They should be. From what I understand, it's a part of Ireland's push to reclaim artistry and to start rebuilding its soft power. Because if they have artists there who are making cool stuff and making cool stuff that, you know, helps promote Irish values and culture, then it makes Ireland more globally relevant. Makes them a place that people want to go when they vacation, brings in tourist dollars, stuff like that. Ours with money impact positive amount of money in the country. Yep, that's exactly it. That is exactly it, soft power. And in fact, it is no secret that Japan has been doing exactly that since World War II, basically. The Japanese government has an initiative that pours funds into supporting arts and culture, especially video games, manga, and anime. So something that gets covered on the Moon Channel, who is a immigration lawyer. He talks about history, he talks about cultural influence. I'm gonna just fucking die, it's okay. And he talks about how much soft power that gives Japan. It's not inherently a good thing, because Japan does do a lot of stuff to try and like soften its image, including taking down some important memorials until people, you know, raise complaint about that stuff and push back. But that is a real thing. What was I seeing? And like, that's part of why a lot of the Korean gacha games also go for a Japanese aesthetic. And I don't just mean like in the, oh, you know, it's all animation and it's all pretty games and stuff like that. You know, you're lumping together anime and stuff. That's not what I'm doing. What I'm saying is they are going with the Japanese aesthetic of like cherry blossoms and kimonos and stuff like that. Even though their games are ostensibly Korean, right? This was, again, another thing that was covered by Moon Channel. And it's because they want to emulate that type of soft power and cultural impact. There's a... honestly, the amount of stuff that you can pick up and learn from the channel and the history lessons there is... So, to think that Ireland would be doing something similar... Oh, God. I'm thinking about the difference between a policy like that and the policy that the states currently have, which is ostensibly focused on STEM, science, science, technology, engineering, and math. Yeah, I think that's what STEM is. Focusing on that because that is the quote productive side of curriculum. That is the part that is good and helps, you know, get people quote real jobs, unlike your women's studies or whatever. I came out of this completely wrong. Well, the reality is, like, yeah, that is really important. It is important that we invest in math and science. but also like they're not really investing in math and science, because if they're involving in science, then they wouldn't be pushing all of these and all this anti-science rhetoric. All they really want is just kill the arts, because the arts is what makes people literate, makes them emotionally intelligent, keeps them from being turned into mindless consumers, which is what they really want. Heck, it sucks. Money for science is good, but the arts is also very important. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. You get it. See, we gotta go back. Back to the future, Marty. I don't feel confident about being able to start this. But I now. Oh, are we gonna get it? We should always aim for less war and more of everything else. Yeah. Yeah. I could be snide. I could be quite live and say, yes, of course, less science, yes, less war, more poverty, more starving, but like, you know, that is practical. That's not the kind of energy we want to bring to this type of channel. What do we do? We survive? I think we did. Kinda did. This Viper is like actually just sticking around like a bad penny. Oh my god. Chat, if you like reading superhero books and you have not read Please Don't Tell My Parents I'm a Supervillain, please, by all means, read Please Don't Tell My Parents I'm a Supervillain. And I am in fact left behind as the sacrificial bard. We should be like Kaiba, less wars and more card games. I don't know. Kaiba kind of built a surveillance state where people can kidnap, or his company will kidnap people off the streets. And remember, when Kaiba was gone, Kaiba Court turned into literally Shinra Industries. So, you know, maybe be a little less like Kaiba. Like, if Kaiba was just autistic about card games, it'd be fine. But he was, in fact, still a billionaire. He just decided to focus his money in a place where not a lot of people were going to get benefit from it. This guy is a genius building solid vision technology, and he's using it to advance card games. Now, granted, better than using it to advance war, but he wasn't using that for, like, you know, the medical... for medical breakthroughs or anything like that. And you can say, like, sure, yeah, Kaiba was, you know, building orphanages and inviting kids to his Kaiba Land Dome, but at the same time, it's like, but we never really get a chance to see what he was doing to keep those orphans from becoming orphans in the first place, you know? In Inazuma 11, the warmongers created a Terminator to destroy soccer because the main kid made everyone love soccer so much that war ended forever. Now everyone fought with friendly soccer. I feel like I heard of this, actually. I feel like I heard this setup. Ooh, we gotta start winning some fights here. Yeah, we gotta start winning some of these team fights. Oh, we're not gonna get there. We can do it, chat? Think we can do it? Chat, I enjoy your conversations. I know they might be a little one-sided at a time, but I do generally enjoy these conversations. Oh my god. So here's an aside. Here's a new topic for us to broke into that gets a little further away from the inevitable struggle that always comes with talking about capitalism. So remember that Northern Lion's wife, lovely Momo Kate, is a VTuber now? She is now getting a chance to do collabs with some other VTubers, which like fantastic for her. But also like the VTubers that she's collabing with. Oh my god, I'm way too far in. The VTubers that she's collabing with are Giga, one of the bigger independent VTubers that I'm aware of, and then also Nimona, like ye old Hololive streamer, who incidentally I believe was Kate's Oshi. Like if you saw that clip of Northern Lion messaging Fauna and being like, "Hi, Fauna of Hololive, you're awesome," and then just like staring at the camera. From what I heard, that was a request that Kate made of him because her favorite was Fauna. So now she's getting to do a collab with her Oshi, and I just... good for her. Good for her. Imagine going from like no camera and having a decent size font. Like Kate is not a small streamer by any stretch of the imagination. She has been holding her own in streaming for years at this point. We didn't get that, but that's okay. She's been holding her own as a streamer for years now. And now that she's officially a VTuber, she is reaching out to her Oshi and getting the collab. Like, god damn, that is so fucking powerful. Holy sh... Now, unfortunately, that collab is going to be on Friday, so I'll have to check out the VOD, but... okay, we've got some time left. Clear these out, and second chance a couple of them. I think I have to. I have. Yep. The good news is that we can just go ahead and do Stone Vigil, so that way we can go ahead and get the... I need to double check. Right. Okay. Before we do that, let's go back to Gridania. We can drop off our... oh, wow. Oh, right. I keep forgetting about the side quests. I'm still gonna go put some stuff away. But what if I just ran the little ladies quest real quick? And hold on. Yeah, you know what? Okay. Let's go run the little ladies quest real quick. I don't want to miss them. So often these events come and go and I just completely forget to... oh. Maybe nope. Okay. I guess I just need to stick that in the... alright. Well, head straight to Ulda. That's what we'll do. Can I do it in like 10 minutes though? Probably not, right? I don't think I can do it in like 10 minutes. Maybe it's probably... those events tend to be closer to like 15, especially if you're reading the text, the alt text. So let's do that tomorrow. Yeah, we'll do Little Lady's event tomorrow. And that means... go ahead and do... first... the Stone Vigil. Also remember to cap the level. I know I have the chess piece for the... don't know how much. We'll have to check it out. Probably make a plate of them. Oh god. I'm gonna need to find a... I'm gonna need to wake up. Tonight's pre-modern night, chat. Wife and I are going out to a store that we found that's running every other week locals. Yep. for a format called pre-modern. It's Magic the Gathering, except you can only play cards from a specific era. Like a really old era. Not the oldest era, but old enough that you don't have to deal with any of the power crept bullshit that's currently in standard, right? You also don't have to deal with like the constantly evolving formats. Edison Magic, kind of. Like it's the same general concept. It's from like, I want to say, what, 5th edition? Yeah, I want to say it's like 5th edition through whatever blocks Scourge was. Basically anything that's pre-Mirrodin. And it's called pre-modern because modern starts with Mirrodin and 8th edition. So, you know, take that set, work your way backwards. This is back where Call of the Herd was still a great card. 4 mana, make a 3/3. Flash it, yeah. 3 mana, make a 3/3. Flash it back for 4 mana, make another 3/3. And also, a lot of the best cards from that era are banned. Like Force of Will and Brainstorm, because those are really fucking good cards, and they already, like, exist in Legacy. We don't need that. We don't need that energy. So, like, you know what? If you want to play with them, go play with Legacy. We're not going to deal with them here. Innocent but different. Henry Ford magic. So, honestly, it's not bad. I've been having a lot of fun with it now that I have a deck that I really like. So I'm going to spend some time tweaking it. Starting to collect the actual cards so I can unproxy it. That's the other thing, too, is that this is a format where, kind of by necessity, proxies are perfectly good and legal as long as, like, you know, it's a properly proxied card as opposed to just scribbling what the name of a card should be on a piece of paper. It's a very important distinction. Test. Yeah, it's not bad. We're gonna go out. We're gonna do that, and then it's gonna be. It feels good to be playing Magic with people again. I was kind of doing that beforehand, but well, I don't know. Legacy doesn't feel as good to play as it does to watch right now, and even then, that's partially because we're watching someone who doesn't have to pay the entry costs to crash out. We're getting to see someone who brews a lot of different decks. We watched 3BU for a lot of our Legacy picks. We're not interested in Modern at all. I used to be interested in Modern. You know what happened? Soul Sisters got crept out. And like you can say, oh, but Hero, you know, Red-White Energy is a real deck in Modern right now. Yeah, that's not Soul Sisters. That's Red-White Energy. That deck is full of cards from Modern Horizons 3. Which just fucking power crept everything else out. There's Modern Horizons 1 and 2. And, like, there are some cards that are so relevant from that, like Ragavan. But guess what? Not really. And it sucks. Sucks that this is where we're at. Vigil Sorrel. Yeah, let's go ahead and head company out. For taunt armor together. Oh, did I just hear? I did. Okay, folks, we've got 5 minutes left of the stream. Don't go anywhere just yet. We do want to send everyone out together on a raid. If you know who we should be raiding, if you have any cool people that we should check out, make sure you redeem that Lead the Raid redeem that we have over here on Twitch. If they're cool, if they're trans, they're playing Magic or Final Fantasy 14, you know, maybe, just maybe, we can go hang out. I mean, I guess I'm not gonna hang around too much because I do have to I have to start getting ready for travel, but you know it. I guess I'm not using. There we go. Those 41 gear. That's what we're... clean that up. Clean that up. This visual vampire says, I think that's correct. I think it's correct. Sam does redeem. Lead the raid. All right, Sam. Where are we heading off to? We're gonna go raid Kit. All right. Yeah, we're gonna go raid Kit. Excellent. Let's see, what is she currently working? I feel like she's currently on the light grind, if I remember YouTube correctly. Yeah, I think that's correct. Do I really? I don't think there was anything. Yep. Okay. So we have the gloves. We have the chest piece. What did we get that we can turn? Those are the gloves that we already have. We have the sorlets. That's something. Boom. Boom. Sorlets are right there. Yeah, okay. That's pretty much a glam right there. We'll probably want to get like some amount of pants, but works. And then what? We just go ahead and attach the serpent sword. Attach the serpent sword. Attach the kite shield. Yeah, there we go. That's what we like. That's what we like to see. Go ahead and leave it off for there. Alright, let's go ahead and start that raid count then. It is current. Oh, she's doing it in Vanderville right now. Yeah, absolutely. I might need to go back and actually like watch a reaction to some stuff. Anyway, folks, just as a quick reminder, no stream on Wednesday. I'm going out to therapy. The rest of the week should be normal business per usual. We'll catch you next time. Same hero time, same hero channel. Bye.